Why you're not productive? We are in a culture of distractions. Everything distracts us. We have social media, we have, how many of you start working and then look at their Facebook page? See, someone is already there. It's like their hand is already there, right? Twitter, Facebook, you know, LinkedIn, whatever it is. Or you email. Who here, the first thing they do, look at their emails? Never do that. Never do that. Remember, the inbox are emergencies of other people. They're not your emergencies. So I'm going to give you actually a blueprint on how to start your day. It's in this, I'm going to go through it in a second. So the antidote of or how you can stop distraction is having discipline. Knowing, like, when I started not reading my emails in the morning, I went through withdrawals. I'm not kidding you. Like, I'm like, I don't know if I'm doing the right thing. I don't know if I'm doing the right thing. Well, I don't know what can be in the email. You know what? 2 hours later, whatever is on the email is still going to be in the email. Right? It's not going to go away. So you need to start with your day for you, by you. This is take caring of you. So this is the first part, is lack of focus. The second part is the avoidance. We don't start things because we want to avoid a pain or hurt or fear that we don't want to go through. So I don't want to start, really, I say that I don't have the resources for a small business, but I'm actually fearful to start. I have fear of rejection. I have fear of failure, or I have fear of success. So I kind of avoid what I'm going to have. And I want to let you know that when you avoid something and you keep saying, I'll do it later on, that's a short term for discomfort. But it's a guaranteed long term for sadness and despair. You are actually self-sabotaging yourself by doing that. So you need to remember distraction, avoidance, multitask. Who believes in multitasking here? Any millennials here? Any millennials? Okay, the only people, believe it or not, that are kind of okay with multitasking are millennials. Multitasking is a natural thing to do. Multitasking is like you are doing parallel things at the same time. So what you do is you actually stop a task and you do another one. So you're actually distracting yourself. You know when you interrupt something that you do, how long it takes you to come back to what you were doing?
10 to 15 minutes.
Thank you. You know how many times we get interrupted a day? 200 times. Do the math. How long do you have to produce them? But are we aware of that? Multitasking is a myth. Multitasking doesn't work. Because our brain, the area in our brain that handles tasks is the same area and is not created to handle two things at the same time. So it's not going to work. If you tell me that, yeah, but I can listen to music and work, is because the area that you listen to the music with is a different area in your brain than you're working. So that's why they can be parallel. But you cannot be multitasking. And also remember what we talked about time management. There is a matrix that is called the urgent and important matrix. And that it's divided into 4. What is urgent and important? What is urgent and not important? What is important and not urgent? And what is not urgent and not important? Usually the urgent stuff that you respond to, that basically takes most of your day, are not your emergencies, are someone else's emergencies, someone else's deadlines. So you need to basically concentrate on this quadrant, the important but not urgent. What is basically moving you forward? And also, oh, I had this. That's why you knew the answer. Duh, me, right?
Yeah, but I read it too.
I know. You answered right away, anyhow.
Edna has a really good website for stuff like this. That anyone can see even if you don't have Edna insurance.
Yeah, it's just like, it's true. You just miss it, and 10 to 15 minutes. And then quick fixes. We are in a culture where we have a quick fix for everything. We take a pill to lose weight. We take a pill to gain weight. We drink caffeine to be up, and we take like NyQuil to go to sleep. You know, we do Botox to remove the wrinkles. You know, there is always a quick fix and a quick remedy for whatever we do. But we don't take the time actually to know what we are doing. And that's so we look at the short terms, not at the long term. So for example, we look at the rich food, what is going to give me now, not what's not going to give me in the future, because we are in the quick fix mode, right? Instead of looking at something healthy and say, you know what, it might not taste like the rich food here, you know, but it could get me better health result in the future. So we are still discussing why we're not productive, okay? Of course, the fears. There is something that's called fear of loss, fear of process, and fear of outcome. Fear of loss, obviously, that if you think if you're going to start something new, you're going to lose whatever you have already. Of process is what are you going to go through, you know, and what pain you're going to go through. An outcome, what if I go through all that and then I'm not going to get what I want? And at this I say, so what? You would have learned something new. You know, Edison went through 10,000 times to do the light, right? And they asked him, you went through 9,999 times? And he said, yeah, they were 9,999 times of things that I know are not going to work anymore. He didn't say failures. He actually took it. And again, it's our perspective and how we look at things. Is it an obstacle or can I learn from it? And of course, lack of energy. If we don't have the energy, there is nothing we won't have the willpower. And these are the obstacles. The first thing in obstacles in productivity is what we call the butterfly effect. They say that if a butterfly flaps its wings in Beijing, it will cause a storm in Kansas. What does that mean? The minute our brain, if we goes to something like, oh my God, that person didn't answer my phone call, it will go through, they don't like me, they're not going to take my job, they're not going to give me the project, and why don't they like me? Because I'm not good. And it's like a full dominoes effect. That's what we call the butterfly effect. When you start with a little idea and then it goes through a whole day of negative thinking where it stops you actually from producing. Does anyone go through that sometimes? Be mindful of that. When it starts happening, you need to stop it. You need to say, no, I'm just going to stop right here, even if you have to write it down. You know, because this is what we call the butterfly effect. It just will go like crazy. It will flip its wings. And you need to start thinking, you know, I will invite you, and I wish we had a lot of time. I would like go through all that one by one. I want you to go home and start writing 5 butterflies that you have in your mind. So whenever they come up, you are aware of them and you can actually see them. And also people that keep looking at the past and they let the past define them. I had a failure, so I'm going to be a failure all my life. You know, I didn't do well in school, or I didn't do well in business, or I cannot be on my own, or I had a failed relationship, or I never lost weight. And people live in the past. The past is called past because it passed. Yes.
How do we move forward if we're mindful of that, realize that we're doing it?
There is something called live in the present, or live in the moment. So you need to pay attention to whatever is going on right now with you. So I'm right here, you know, right now. I know I'm here, and I have all this lovely audience in front of me. I am feeling the paper that I'm touching in my hand. I am hearing the humming of this. I know that I have the slides here. I'm totally present. I am not thinking about what happened at lunch today, and I'm not going to think what's going to happen, after 4 p.m. The present, when we say present, what does the word present stands for? And what else?
Be here now.
A gift. Your present is a gift. Use your gift. You need to live in the moment and live in the presence. Mindfulness. Actually, there is a whole thing called mindfulness, and it's becoming very popular now, especially in corporate training and stuff, is when you need to live in the moment. You need to live in the present. You know, you cannot control your past and you cannot control your future. For me, for example, I don't know, I cannot guarantee to you that I'm going to leave here and I'm going to go safely home. So I need to make sure that I'm enjoying this minute, because this is what I have.
But
this is what I can control.
It doesn't work with the food.
Why?
Because when you have the food at this moment in front of you, you know it's tasty. So
it's about making healthy choices. It's also about making what kind of food you have, because you can have the present food in front of you, the healthy food.
Yeah.
Right? Decisions.
Exactly, yeah.
Decisions. It's decision. You know, this is what I'm saying. We always put all these excuses in front of us, and we always find an excuse of, this is how the human brain, by the way, is built. It's not only you or me or you or you. It's like we always find the excuses. They call it actually in psychology confabulation. We make excuses why we're doing is the right thing to do or what is going on, right? Self-talk, of course, and lost in today's routine. How you talk to yourself will depend a lot on your productivity. It's a double-edged sword. You can talk yourself in doing a good job, or even like telling, you know what, I'm not good enough, I'm a failure. You know, and I know a lot of people that talk to themselves that way. And either way, it's not going to get you any production.